Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. I've tried and I've tried and I've seriously tried to just like, not even love, to like Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace. I played it last night and then I played it again this morning. And it is still my least favorite Paul McCartney album. I even Give My Regards to Broad Street more. And if you like the album, by the way, that's great. We all have our favorites and least favorites. For instance, I know there's a lot of Paul McCartney fans out there that don't care for Driving Rain. I happen to think it's a great album. And on April 14th, I'm getting together with me, Mr. Mael, Beatly Tone's Beatles channel, Stephen Schnee from the CD Junkie, and Grant from Grant's Rock Warehouse. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 people. So the 5 of us are going to be talking about Driving Rain. I have no idea if... I think that Joe Mayo, he used to not like this album. He used to call it Thriving Pain, which I find pretty funny. Because I didn't even care for it at first. But I think he's warmed up to it through the years, at least the last few years. I'm not sure what Beatly Tone thinks of this album, or Stephen Schnee, or Grant. But what we're going to do is have a serious discussion about this. I'm hoping until then that they keep listening to this album, 2 or 3 times. And we're going to rank all of the songs on this. So stay tuned for that. April 14th or 15th I'll be posting it. But back to Pipes of Peace. First of all, Paul McCartney is my all-time favorite solo artist. And as some of you know, I gave up on him. When this came out, it was the first Paul McCartney album I never bought. I kind of gave up on him. And I gave up on him for about 25 years. I'm not saying I didn't listen to the Beatles or, some of the Paul McCartney albums, but I stopped buying his albums and listening to new albums that he was putting out until Memory Almost Full, which I loved. And then I went back and, some of the albums like Off the Ground, I thought were really good. And yeah, the only one that I wouldn't say I hate. Hate is a really strong word. But I'm not a fan of Pipes of Peace. And in fact, I consider this album to include his worst song. Just my opinion. Now some songs, I was looking up what's Paul's worst solo song, and some of these songs that came up were Crean a Crory from his first album. I love that. Very experimental track. Wonderful Christmas Time, of course. People either love or hate. I like it. It's, it is what it is. It's annoying, kind of, but it's so catchy. Mary Had a Little Lamb, of course, but I think, it's a children's song, and he was just doing a sweet little children's song, so I didn't mind that at all. Temporary Secretary, some people don't like that. I love it. Ebony and Ivory, not one of my favorites, but I wouldn't say it's his worst song. And then, there's stuff like Bip Bop from Wildlife that some people don't care for. And before I forget, I'm doing a live chat tomorrow, March 31st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please click at the end of this video, you should see it, and click on it to be notified when I go live. But anyway, back to Pipes of Peace again. The this here. I've got the 2-disc. I had the box set at one point because I was thinking every time I got a box set like Red Rose Speedway, it's like, oh my God, this album is much better than I thought it was. But it didn't change my mind for this one. Pipes of Peace is okay. Say, Say, Say is catchy. I don't mind it. The Other Me is possibly my favorite song on the album. And So Bad is kind of sweet. But I would say everything else, it's just, this was when, I don't know, with Paul's lyrics and everything, it was just too corny. He was getting really corny. And I was missing, you know, like Junior's Farm, him rocking out, High, 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 and Rock Show, songs like that. But yeah, this is just, like I said, I've tried. And there's just a point where you give up and say, forget it. I don't like the album. I would give it a, I mean, it is Paul McCartney, so it's not bad, but it's not good either for me. I would give it a 6 out of 10. And my least favorite song, I would consider it Paul's worst song that I've heard, is Average Person. And the lyrics might be, for me, Paul's worst set of lyrics. I mean, besides something like Bip Bop or Mumbo, where he's just, you know, he doesn't even have any lyrics. He's just doing whatever he's doing. Here we go. If anybody's still watching. Look at the average person. Speak to the man in the street. Can you imagine the first one you'd meet? Well, I'm talking to a former engine driver, trying to find out what he used to do. Tells me that he always kept his engine spit and polished up as good as new. But he said his only great ambition was to work with lions in a zoo. See how he rhymed zoo with new? Oh, to work with lions in a zoo. Yes, dear, you heard right. Told me his ambition was to work with lions every night. Look at the average person. Speak to the man in the street. Can you imagine the first one you'd meet? Well, I met a woman working as a waitress. I asked exactly what it was she did. Said she worked the summer crowd at seasides. Wintertime she ran away and hid. Once she had a Hollywood audition, but the part was given to a kid. Yes, the part was given to a kid. Not exactly Paul Simon material here. Yes, sir, you heard it right. Hollywood ambition made a starlet grown up overnight. Well, I bumped into a man who'd been a boxer, asked him what had been his greatest night. He looked into the corners of his memory, searching for a picture of the fight. But he said he always had a feeling that he lacked a little extra height. Could have used a little extra height. Yes, mate, you heard right. He always had a feeling that he might have lacked a little height. Look at the average person. Speak to the man in the queue. Can you imagine the first person is you? Anyway, yeah. I mean, even Paul Simon, there's a song that he wrote that I consider probably his worst, called Cars Are Cars. I mean, every great songwriter is going to write a bad song or two, you know, lyrics-wise at least. But the song, too, is, you know, for me, it's definitely his worst solo song. So I would love your thoughts. You know, I'm sure some of you love or like Average Person. And some of you like or love Pipes of Peace. And some of you dislike or even hate driving rain. But I'm hoping with the live chat that at least one or two of them really warm up to the album if they're, if they listen to it 2 or 3 times at least, because it took me a while. But I'm going to save it for the live chat. I was going to go on about it, but I won't. So yeah, Pipes of Peace, my least favorite Paul McCartney album, but Paul McCartney is the greatest solo artist of them all, for me. Thanks for watching and have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow, March 31st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live chat. Bye.